Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm just going to be showing you how to install your Shimano Derailleur XT M8100 SGS 12 speed rear derailleur. So I'll go ahead, we'll get on with the steps. Right, so before you mount your derailleur on your hanger, just make sure you've got some anti-seize on the threads there. And what you need to do is you need this part here touching your derailleur hanger. It's got to be actually touching it. As you can see, this bit moves round like so. So make sure it's over that way because it needs to be touching on there. So when you offer it up, make sure that it's behind your derailleur hanger there. When you screw it on, so 5mm, so you screw that on and make sure that it's going over your derailleur hanger, and then once it's started, just keep it pushed in place with your hand and you just screw it up, so it's nip it up, and then get your torque wrench and just torque that up. So that's 8 Nm. So that's the derailleur mounted on there. So now I'll go ahead, I'll move the camera so we can show you the adjustments. Right, so all I've done is I've screwed on the derailleur like you saw and torqued it up. That's all I've done. Now I'm not putting a chain on or anything, you don't need to set it up. So if you look at the moment, you're looking directly behind at the derailleur, and as you can see, the top guide wheel is over there at the moment, which is about in line with between the second and the third sprockets in there, cogs there. So you want it in line with the outside edge of the 10 tooth at there. So it's got to move over to the outside. So what you want to do is get on your high screw, which is the top one there. So move that over, so you're just winding it anti-clockwise. And it comes over like so. So you want it so it's in line with the outside of the 10 tooth cog. So your lowest one. I'm trying to hold it out of the way so you can see. So you don't need to do that, I'm just holding it there so you can actually see. So clockwise on the screw moves it. I'll show you. Clockwise we'll move it back in, and anti-clockwise moves it out. So you got to look directly behind at it. So once you're happy with that, you can do the low screw, which is the bottom one. So to do that, I'll just zoom back out so you can see it. So you got the low screw. Now all you do is pull down on your cage and then push the derailleur over with your hand. Just push it over, and you see there it's not in line, it's in line with the second one in. So you can see. So you need to go on your low screw. Then if you just wind that in a little bit, you'll see that anti-clockwise will bring it over towards the spokes, and clockwise moves it back in to the cassette. So what you want to do is adjust it out so as it's in line with the largest at the back, the 51 tooth. So you can see by pushing it over with your hand like so. Now once you're happy with that, that's the high and low adjustments then set. So what we do, I'll just pop the cable through where it's going to go, like so, making sure that the ends are actually right in, the same as the ones on your frame. Otherwise what'll happen over time, they'll move in and it'll alter the derailleur without you realising, if they're not in there properly. Right, so next thing to do is install your cable under your pinch bolt. Before you do that, make sure that you've shifted down on your shifter down to your 10, the lowest at the back. So if you don't, you hook the cable up and you wonder why you're missing a gear because you forgot to shift it down. So what you want to do is put your cable through, and then I'll pull that down out of the way, and it goes round the pinch bolt like so, and out, X in this way. So what you want to do is make sure you're not pulling really hard on this cable, because it moves the derailleur over as you're doing it, as you can see. So if you're pulling it, you're already gears out when you snug the cable up. So it's got to be over by the 10, and you've almost got to have the cable crossed over there, so as it goes around the pinch bolt properly, the plate under the pinch bolt. So if you do it like that, don't pull on it, otherwise you'll move it, and just snug down the bolt so as it gets the whole cable pinched. And once it's pinched like so, nip it up like so, and then we can try the gears now. So I'll show you that, so you make sure you've got all of your available gears. Right, so now I'll just go up to the shifter and we just make sure we got all the gears. So obviously it's on the first one already, so you got 11, you should have 11 clicks. And what you want to do is, because there's no chain on there, as you're going across, changing up, make sure you just push down on the cage like so, to keep the jockey wheel out of the way of the cassette as you're going across. So there you go, we've got all the available gears there. So you can go ahead and shift down again. Then we move on to the next step of setting up the individual gears there. Now you know you've got your low screw adjusted and your high screw. We can do all the ones in between, make sure they're all lined up. Right, so I haven't got a chain on there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look straight down from above and then go up through the gears, because I already know I've got the high and the low set. So when you're looking, you've got to look directly down, so it's hard to show on the camera, but you're looking for the top guide wheel there, and just run through the gears and make sure that that top guide wheel is in line with each individual gear. You may have to, like I said before, just pull down on the derailleur so you can look from the back. You can see the wheel there, guide wheel. So you move across the gears, so you go to your shifter, then shift up like that, and you can see it's in line with that, it's in line with that one, it's in line, as you can see. I'm trying to show it the best I can on the camera, like so. So they're in line. It's hard to see now, but you get the gist of it. If they're not in line, then what you want to do is, more than likely you've got to wind your barrel adjuster on your shifter, give it a few clicks or a whole turn anti-clockwise to just put some more tension on the cable. That's all it's going to do. just tensioning the cable slightly more, so it's moving them over a little bit more if they're just out of line. So if they are, just run through them like I said and check that they're in line before you go and put a chain on there. And if they look as though they're in line when you're looking directly down from above, or you can do it as well looking straight from behind as well, and just get someone else to shift up while you're just holding it down like that and get them to shift across. But it's easier just to do it from above and you just shift with your other hand and look. So once you're happy with that, then go and put a chain on there and see if there's anywhere near. Right, so got the chain. That's what I'll do. I'm going to put this on now. For you. And we'll see if we were anywhere near. So make sure to shift it all the way down to the 10. I'll just put it on there. So you're making sure when you got the chain on that you got the writing on the chain on the outside of the chain. And when you put the chain through the cage here, make sure it goes over the piece of metal there between the cage. Make sure it passes over that. Otherwise, if it's under that, then you'll wonder why the gears are skipping. You can't adjust anything. So make sure it's over that. Many people make that mistake and it's wrong, and then they wonder what's happening with it and they can't set it up. So make sure it goes over that. Otherwise, like I said, you'll be wondering what's happening. It's just a simple case of the chain's in the wrong place. Put that over like so, and then if you've got a quick link in the chain with the arrows on it, Shimano one, make sure the arrow's pointing backwards on the bottom of the chain to join them together, and then the arrow will be pointing towards the front chainring when it gets up the top. So make sure you've checked that. Just a couple of things I thought I'd point out. Some people make the mistake and so join it together like so. And I'll just run up through the gears there and see if we was anywhere close to it. So there you go, all the way up to the top, no problem at all. Now I'll go back down again. There you go, all the way back down to the 10. So what I'll do now is I'll shift all the way back up to the top and then to the 51 tooth, and then show you just to check the B screw adjustment, just to make sure you're happy with that. Right, so now you're happy with the gears in between, everything's working. Obviously you can shift right up to the top to the 51 tooth, then you can check the actual B screw now, and as you see, the top guide wheel there is nowhere near where it should be. That wants to be closer to the cassette than that. It's too far away. So if you go up to your B screw there, you can turn it anti-clockwise. The gap will get smaller there, so you can bring it down a bit. Otherwise, if the gap's too big there, it'll affect the shifting. So you don't want it a big gap like that, that was probably about 15mm gap, so it's much too big. So you want to adjust it down so as the chain can pass through cleanly but not get fouled up, otherwise it affects the shifting on the down changes, makes the gears hang up. The gap's too big down here. So like I said, you can adjust it anti-clockwise or clockwise, whichever yours is. It's probably more likely going to be anti-clockwise to make the gap smaller. So once you're happy with that, you run through the gears a couple more times, make sure you're 100% happy before you snip your cable off and put a stop on there. Right, so once you're 100% happy with everything, with the adjustments, and make sure it's all working correctly before you snip your cable off. So we just snip that off, like so. We just put a stop on the end, the cable, and that will complete the installation. Right, so there's the steps complete for you, so I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe and I'll see you then.